Hello, I'm James Helder and welcome to another action-packed episode of Not For The News. I'm quite fortunate and honoured to be joined by my esteemed guest from the worlds of boxing and football, none other than Curtis Woodhouse, aka the War Dog, BEM. Great to have you with us, mate. You all right?
Always a pleasure, sir.
Love that. Also joined by none other than the most controversial enigma I know, none other than Leon Knight. What's happening, Leon? How are you?
I'm looking all right nowadays, isn't it?
Yeah, you're looking all right. Looking all right. Lads, I want to talk a little bit about the World Cup this week. As we know, the Qatar World Cup will happen mid-season. Quite an interesting one. Firstly, I want to debate, was it right for the World Cup to go to that region initially? Been quite controversial, a lot of thoughts on it. Let's see what you boys think. Curtis, is it right for the World Cup to be held there? What's the breakdown in the pros and the cons of it going to Qatar?
Well, I mean, it's got no football in history, has it? It's only there for one reason, and that's because a few people have taken a few backhanders to get it there. You know, simple as that. You know, it's a financial thing. There'll be some people that financially really, really done well out of it going to Qatar. But, I mean, no, the World Cup shouldn't be there. It's in the middle of winter for starters. When have we ever had a World Cup in the winter? It's all nonsense. Yeah, I'm not a big fan of it. I think England will probably do well because of that reason. It's in the middle of their season, so they'll probably be a little bit fresher. But I mean, yeah, how can you put it in Qatar and overlook countries that have got infrastructure? You know, countries that have got a football in history, countries that are not killing people left, right, and centre for no reason. You know, I don't understand how a World Cup can go to somewhere like Qatar. It should be completely off the list. Of holding major events, and that's boxing as well. You know, that you got all these big fights now that are going over to Saudi Arabia, and the golf's now gone over there. You know, they're all after a few quid, which I've got no issues with, but I'd rather people just say, yeah, listen, the financial rewards are too much for us to turn down. It annoys me when people like skirt around the houses. The World Cup is in Qatar for money and money only. That's it, and I'm cool with that, but at least I have the balls to say it.
90, yeah. So I'm going around as a consortium looking at all the bids. I go to Qatar, I look at their bid, I took in my little book sheet, so it says infrastructure, no. So I look at past history of big footballing events, sporting events, no. I look at potential human rights laws and violations and people getting killed, tick another box, no. How is it justifiable? I'm sure there's more boxes as well. Like we said, the season being interrupted, the Jules Rimet Trophy not being played at the end of the season. No. How do we justify taking the World Cup out there to Qatar, aka Qatar?
You can't justify it, can you? Really? Like, let's be honest about it. Like, they shouldn't even be considered to be even in the mix of getting such a prestige tournament. Like, it don't make no sense other than, you already know, the pound sterling or the dollar or the euro or whatever. Do you know what I mean? That's all it is, really. Ain't got nothing else to do with it. So it's a sham of a country. The laws, and I mean, I heard a law that you weren't allowed to have like a one-night stand over. If you know, like if you go over there and you meet a girl or whatever in this town, you're not allowed to have a one-night stand, otherwise you're going to jail. Do you know what I mean? Possibly facing the death penalty or some crap like that. Do you know what I mean? It's just ludicrous. Like, I mean, you've got all these countries, just like Curtis is saying, with history behind them, and you're going to Qatar. You got Brazil, Argentina, Mexico, England, Italy, Spain, anywhere you want to go, really. Do you know what I mean? I wouldn't even mind if it was just held in America, really. Do you know what I mean? Qatar, like, that don't make no sense. That don't make no sense other than the money.
Now, touching on the story that Knighty mentioned, it's been in the papers quite a lot, that England fans and football fans could face prison and potentially death sentences for one-night stands and misdemeanors. With the historical past of the England following and fans and the minority, shall we say, I'd like to think, misbehaving at past tournaments.
Can you imagine?
Could it go completely wrong?
Listen, Curtis,
out there for some England fans.
Curtis, can you imagine? Yeah, the build up to a World Cup. So like you're like what, 3 days away from the World Cup, 2 days away from the World Cup. You're getting on the bevies. yeah, you're a big fan of England, you're getting on the bevies and all of that, and you decide to, you know what, we've got to stick a couple of grams up our ass and whatever and decide, yeah, make sure we get it over there. You know what I mean? Blah, blah, blah. Can you imagine getting caught out there with that?
Right. And you know what? They are their laws, though. So when you're in a foreign country, you have to abide by their laws. It is their laws, you know. So you're right, you know, with people death sentence for one night stands and all things like that, mate, it's scary, isn't it? Especially all the English, they go over there, they all want to fight and all this, that, and the other. They all think they're 10 men, they're sticking all sorts up their nose. They get brave. All of a sudden, 28 days later, you could be getting your head chopped off.
How many embassy calls do you think the British embassy is going to receive in regards to problems with its fan base and that alike, with law and restrictions and restrictions?
Their phone will be ringing off, mate. It'll be a hot line.
Yeah, in England, the English are louts. They can't behave. They've proved it over time. So the only time I've ever seen the English fans behave is when they ran into the Russians, and the Russians kicked the bejesus out of them. Then all of a sudden, you had all these England fans on the telly saying like, "Oh, it was a disgrace." You know, they just jumped us out of nowhere. Basically, what the English fans have been doing for the last 100 years. They got a taste of their own medicine, and I enjoyed it.
The Russian fans had MMA gloves on to protect their hands.
Yeah, good.
They had full-scale training camps. Okay, they came prepared. I think England underestimated the Russian contingent somewhat.
Yeah,
I mean, English fans, you're flipping couple of pints, and it's all going off, isn't it?
Yeah, you got Dave. You got Dave from his local boozer, has a few pints and thinks he's 10 men. Runs into a Russian guy who's just in a 12-week training camp. He got tucked up.
Just thinking the same thing. Lee from Middlesbrough, if you're listening to this, leave the thing at home. Just go and have a few bevies if you can have a bevy out there, and just behave yourself. Take it. Can you get locked up out in Qatar? It's not.
Oh, and it's hot out there as well, bro. Oh my God.
Have you ever been locked up in a foreign country?
No. Thank God, no.
I have.
Really?
Yeah, over in Spain, I spent 2 nights in a cell.
Oh, Jesus.
Longest 2 nights of my life. Yeah, I I was only young. I think I was 18. I had a fight out there and got nicked. 2 nights I was in the cell for.
Damn.
I'm not going to lie. I cried for 48 hours.
Can you imagine that intensified?
It was horrible.
Could you imagine that intensified, though, for the World Cups? You've gone out there with all your mates. It's cost you an absolute fortune. You've then had an altercation with, I don't know, another fan or whatever. Now you find yourself sober in the morning in the prison cell in Qatar. But bear in mind, they execute people out there. So you're not going to know the laws and stuff.
It's scary. And you know what? Yeah, it is scary. Like you say, you could wake up on a come down looking at the death penalty. It's madness. I wouldn't, I don't go around following England anyway, but I certainly would not be going out to a place like Qatar for the World Cup.
I mean, it's in flipping the times that the games are going to be on as well. Jesus Christ. I'm sure it's like, I'll be doing a school run. I'm almost certain I saw someone say it's in the mornings.
Oh, really?
This is another thing that gets me with the marketability of the bid. So bearing in mind the time difference as well, you're showing the games mid-season. How much money must they have enveloped for this to happen?
At least a couple of billion. At least. Had to be. Couldn't have been like no measly 50 mil or anything like that. No chance.
So how does a team win? How does a nation win the World Cup? It goes to a voting system. Is that correct?
Yes, they have. Each country receives a delegate who comes and literally sees the bid. They spend time with each proposal, working their way sort of what suits best for what time and what works on the wider footballing scale.
Yeah. So it's all open to be manipulated, isn't it?
Yeah, 100%.
So what is it? You got to win by a majority vote or whatever. I don't know how it works, but so basically you probably need to bribe 6 people to get it over the line.
Yeah.
You also get, like anything, when the bids are coming out, you get sort of big players not necessarily from that country, but they'll be out there endorsing the bid as well.
Look at David Beckham. He's out there, isn't he, endorsing the Qatar World Cup?
Yeah, lining his pockets, he is. Don't worry about that.
Yeah, like
How
you
much
need.
money do you reckon it would cost to get a top-level player to endorse a World Cup in a foreign country?
I'd do it for 50 quid.
You know what I mean? Give me $1,000, I'm doing that.
Yeah, but like lads, with all due respect, like I mean, like an elite top-tier player, like
You're going to be talking. You're going to be talking like £500,000 quid.
To get someone like Beckham, though, what's $500,000 to Becks?
That's what I mean.
But it's a free $500,000, a free travel over there, a free trip. You got hotel exclusive, probably first class over there, all of that, and you got a $500,000 in your pocket extra. Like,
not that they'll probably set up 3 or 4 meet and greets for him out there.
This is what I'm trying to say.
But you know what though? But either way, Becks doesn't need the money. So at some point, integrity has to come into it. Integrity must be over. He must think of that more at this stage of his life than money. But I mean, obviously he doesn't.
But like my old man always says, you can never flip and just say, you know, what a man by looking at him. Oh, he's got that in the bank. You don't know what the hell he's doing. Do you know what I mean? He could be up to his eyeballs in debt, mate. Do you know what I mean? You don't know. So it's all up in the air, mate. Do you know what I mean? It could be $500,000, could be $200,000, could be flipping £1,000,000 quid. Do you know what I mean? No one knows. But as an Englishman and knowing the history of this tournament, to be over there, like, you know, he must be thinking to himself, oh, I'd hate to play over here on the World Cup. You ain't gonna have all the eyes on you, because I'm sure it's like 8 o'clock in the morning or something like that.
The games.
Yeah, you can't even go to the pub over here like and watch the game or anything. It's fully. They ain't thinking, like I said, it's a money thing. They ain't thinking about anybody else but themselves, mate.
Yeah. Well, when you talk about anything else apart from money, you're kind of not talking about the big elephant in the room. It's all about the money. Simple as that. And you know what? I've got no issues with that. But I'd just rather people come out and say it. But they ain't got the ball.
They won the vote and whatever, blah, blah, blah. That's a load of crap.
Yeah.
We've seen the players that have been obviously paid to put in a good word. Do you think there should be more players coming out and speaking their mind, as in what they think about the World Cup going out there?
Current players or ex-players?
Ex-players. I know it's a bit harder for current players with the restrictions imposed by clubs and stuff, but even ex-players. Bar, I think, Matt Letizia, who spoke up about it. I've not seen anyone else really been rather vocal about it. What are your thoughts on that?
I think any ex-player that comes and talks about it, they haven't got the power they used to have. You know, so it's for me personally, whenever there's any issues, it's down to the players that are playing currently to discuss it, because they're the ones that have the power. No one cares what Matt Letizia says. A few people will, whatever, but he hasn't got the reach of someone like, say, Harry Kane. Man, if Harry Kane came out, the England captain, and said, "No, this is a sham. I ain't going," or something along them lines, and that would be powerful. You have to be in a position of power, i.e., playing, for your view to carry any weight. So all these ex-players coming out, no one's interested. A current player, if they don't believe in it, have the balls to come out and say it, and you might risk not playing in it, but it is what it is. Look at Djokovic, who just won Wimbledon. You know, he's probably going to miss out on 4 or 5 Grand Slams, which would potentially make him the greatest tennis player of all time. But he's refusing to be vaccinated. So he's making a stand for what he believes in, you know, and he's a current player. You know, you could argue he's the greatest player of all time, you know, and he's making a stand. That carries serious weight. So big up to people like Djokovic, who are willing to sacrifice themselves for what they feel is the greater good. No current players are coming out and saying shit because they haven't got the balls for it. I've got no time for.
Do you think it has something to do with tennis is an individual sport where football's a team game? So as much as Djokovic has held his own ground, he's only affected his own career. If you're Harry Kane and you say, right, that's it, I'm not going World Cup, you're the captain, you've potentially let down 15 other players.
Yeah, but if Harry Kane comes out, he's our main man. He comes out and says that.
And you know what? It doesn't matter whether you're in a team sport or an individual sport. If you feel strongly about something, you feel strongly about something.
You're an individual yourself, mate. Do you know what I mean? So you got to look after your own, really, ain't you? Do you know what I mean? Harry Kane comes out. I'm sure if he came out, other players will follow. I'm almost certain.
Interesting. Well, let's see how the World Cup unfolds, and hopefully
it's going to be a sham.
Some memorable footballing moments.
How do you think we'll get on?
I'd rather be sitting here at the end of the World Cup talking about some great football than anything else. So
how do you think England will do in it? Think we'll do all right?
I think because it's mid-season in the English season, our players are going to be a lot fresher. So I'm sure you said that at the start. I think that is a big factor for us. I think the fact it's going to be really hot out there doesn't sit well, where South American countries have got that every day. So again, I'm expecting them to be brave. I'm expecting them to make the semi-final. I think anything after that's a bonus.
Yeah.
Your thoughts?
Got Southgate, haven't we? Say no more.
Yeah, I'd be surprised if we don't make quarters and semis and stuff. Do you know what I mean? And after there, it's a toss up in the air. I don't really rate the international game at the moment anyway. The scene of it, I don't really rate it at the moment. So, you know, it's all up in the air, mate. Anyone can win it, really. To be fair, I think it's a load of crap right now.
Looking at the draw, if we get to the quarters, it looks like we're going to play France.
Yeah, we'll get some.
Why does Gareth Southgate lost so much support and momentum? During the Euros, certainly at the start, people weren't really behind him, but that seemed a big shift in terms of the nation's beliefs in getting behind Southgate and the team during the later stages of the tournament. Why has it changed? Why is that energy not the same for Uncle Gareth Southgate?
I think it's just the way his team plays. I don't like it. I think with the players we've got in the squad, we should be playing, you know, an attacking, vibrant brand of football, and Southgate just sucking the life out of it. I'm not a fan at all. Like I said, I'd have sacked him, me. I'd have got rid of him a couple of months ago, gone into the World Cup with someone else. We can't win the World Cup with Gareth Southgate. Zero chance.
I hope we win the World Cup just so that blows up that meme. I really do. Really do. Just for that.
I'll give anyone 1,000 to 1. We ain't winning the World Cup with Southgate.
1,000 to 1.
Yeah. Nah. I'm telling you, mate.
I'll put in a $5 on that, Woodshak. It's worth a $5 punt.
Okay.
I'll have a $5 on that. Yeah. 90. Thoughts on, I'm not going to call him Uncle Southgate to you, but thoughts on Gareth Southgate?
I mean, listen, when we say we don't like Southgate, it's not we don't like him. We just don't like him as a manager.
I don't like him. I don't like him.
Like, you know what? I don't like him as a manager. Curtis don't like him as a manager or a person. Yeah. To me, he's not getting the best out of what we've got.
What do you say to people that say he's got the best international record of any England manager?
You're playing against a load of crap, ain't you, really? It's not what I keep going back to it, and people who's been listening to the podcast and whatever over time and on YouTube and stuff, they're gonna say, he's always going back on past and blah blah blah. Yes, because that's all we've got to go back on. Do you get what I'm saying? It ain't what it used to be. So you're gonna do better.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, he for me, just like he's just everything that drives me mad in modern society. You know, he talks about how his favorite one is, you know, he's a fantastic player, but an even better person. If I hear him say that one more time, I'm gonna punch him in the mouth. You know, I just hate all this. Like, he's just this liberal, absolute nonsense. He drives me mad, and he's he's a symbol of what a modern man has become, which is a shambles. You know what I mean? I've got no time for him, what he stands for, and his team. You know, everyone's like, oh, Gareth, what a great human being he is. Honestly, I won't want him stood next to me in the trenches. I know that much.
Yeah, definitely not 100%.
He never let England down, did he? By like missing the Euros.
Yeah, that was enough.
No, but you know what? As a
Maybe
player,
the pizza advert afterwards.
I liked him as a player. Good player, you know. Southgate was a modern footballer. Really, he was good on the ball. Could bring the ball out in the back three. I liked him as a player. Nothing against him as a player. I just don't like what he stands for as a manager. He's too kind of like. I don't know what the right word is. He's just a pussy, isn't he?
Yeah.
And I'm not into that type of person.
A real soft, wet one as well.
Yeah.
Yeah. I know where you're going with it, to be fair. You really want like a man. Everyone's going to get on to me. Like, look, I can't even believe I'm even falling back on what I'm going to say, but you really want a man's man in the changing room. Do you know what I mean? Someone who
would you have managing the England team?
Oh, God. See me, I'd just go for someone like Mourinho.
Me, 100%. You know, if we had not long term, but I'd have got rid of Southgate after the last shambles of whatever that tournament was called or whatever, where we just look awful. We look like we digressed so much. I'll be straight on the phone to Jose saying, listen, get us this tournament. And then after that, we'll look for someone long term. But Jose, I think if we went into the tournament with Jose, I think we've got a chance, you know.
Yeah, everybody would be shitting.
I think we've got a chance. Yeah. With Gareth, we ain't got a chance. We got no chance.
Even if they said, we'll call on Arsene Wenger for the tournament or something. Just somebody, do you know what I mean?
And you know what?
I think if we got Jose, we could have done the team.
100%. We got a chance if we got Jose, and the players will think we've got a chance. And I love Jose and Gareth are two complete other ends of the spectrum. Yeah. Jose is arrogant. He's a fighter. If I'm sat in the dressing room with Jose, I'm running through brick walls for him.
Yeah, 100%.
After 2 games with Gareth Southgate, 100% I'm sat in his office and we're arguing. I just know I'm not going to get on with him. But listen, maybe that's my personality. Everybody's different. But Gareth Southgate is not getting me fired up to play the Germans, or he ain't getting me fired up to play anyone. Talking about what a fantastic human being I am. I'm not a fantastic human being. I'm not. But I can play football. And that's all I want to hear. I want to hear Gareth talk more about football and inspire the players, not get involved in all this nonsense. Gareth Southgate is what Labour have turned into with all the frilly, namby-pamby bullshit. That's why Labour can't get in power. The Conservatives are the biggest shambles they have been for years, and Labour still can't get in power.
Yeah, they're scrambling, yeah.
Yeah, because Labour have turned into this namby-pamby, politically correct nonsense, and Gareth Southgate is that in a nutshell. Yeah.
All right. Moving swiftly on from Gareth Southgate, I want to do some player comparisons. I've got one for you that I think you're going to like. I'm going to go Cristiano Ronaldo, and we're going to go Ronaldo Luis Nazario de Lima, aka R9. Quite an interesting one. Just thinking about it makes no
Everyone's smiling. Everyone's smiling. Bruv,
you're just thought about him at the same time.
Come on, man. This is dumb. Like, don't compare the goal to CR7. He's not even C7. Because we know it's CR7. Yeah? Come on, bruv. We can't do this. Like, this is this. Let's show some respect in it.
I think with stuff like this, I always try. It's like when you're talking about fighters, boxing terms. You can only judge people on their peak years and see how good they were in their peak, at their peak of their powers. I think R9 at the peak of his powers is the greatest player the world has ever seen. I think for like 4 or 5 years, he was untouchable. But with Cristiano Ronaldo, and I know I spoke about this earlier before we came on, you can't get away from his numbers. His numbers are unbelievable. Like, they're scary. But if you're talking player versus player, apart from aerially, like in the air, I don't think Ronaldo CR7 did a single thing better than the real Ronaldo. The real Ronaldo was a serious problem. For me, he's the greatest player I have ever seen in my lifetime, by a stretch as well.
Do you know, that's including Messi, that's including everybody, you know. Now, if you go now, yeah, and ask managers and you ask players, I mean elite players, Thuram, Desai, elite Cannavaro, elite players, not these players that you're seeing now, elite top Nesta, all these top elite players. You go and ask them, who's the best player they played against, and they'll tell you R9. So who are we to argue?
Yeah. Hey, Knight, have you seen that clip on YouTube where the French team are talking about playing against?
Yeah,
that?
and he's got yeah.
How good is it?
This is what I'm trying to say. Elite players, bro. Not flipping Ben White. Yeah, who's gonna be saying, well, Messi does this and blah blah blah. We're talking elite that have played against the elite. Yeah. We're talking top. Everyone talks about, oh, Ronaldo at Real Madrid. Oh, Ronaldo at Inter. I'm talking Ronaldo at PSV.
Yeah.
No,
yeah.
Right. If we're looking Ronaldo at PSV,
I'm talking Ronaldo. No, let me talk. I'm talking Ronaldo at Barcelona.
Barcelona Ronaldo. The longevity of Ronaldo's career, okay, in comparison to R7, we need to take that into account. R7,
no, we don't.
There's Cristiano.
Bruv, they live totally two different.
Absolutely insane.
No, bruv, they live two totally different lives.
I don't.
One was a party animal, and the other is a straight, narrow, law-abiding citizen.
But we're not.
Treats himself.
We're not gauging them on who's got the different personality or eras. We're gauging them stats for stats, player by player. I'm in agreement, right, with R9 being the greatest player in history. But the stats of R7, okay, if we're looking at stats and output, are insane. I've got all the numbers here for both players, and I'm looking at it and thinking, oh my God. Like, for instance,
So Cristiano Ronaldo is the greatest player that ever lived because he scored the most goals.
Stat-wise, right, 932 appearances, 698 goals.
Bruv, listen, you're not listening.
The numbers
you're not listening.
Men lie, women lie. Numbers don't lie. Like
this is the problem. This is the problem with today's game. You lot do stats,
but it's goal stats and assists. It's
We're
not
talking
comparing pass ratio.
All right, Paul, you scored 600 goals. Where's your World Cup medal?
Yeah, you know what? Ronaldo dominated on the world scene. You know, and Ronaldo for me was playing in such a tougher era, and also, well, look at some of the pitches Ronaldo was playing on.
I ain't got time.
Yeah,
if we take into account the injury that Ronaldo suffered.
Yeah,
for the World Cup and the knee.
Man's playing on one knee.
One knee.
Yeah,
and with the alleged stuff with the sponsorship and being forced to take an injection in his knee, probably wasn't the same player after that. So we need to take into account his stats would have dropped off. So
I'm not even taking
his stats for Barcelona: 49 games, 47 goals. It's ridiculous. His stats for his stats for PSV Eindhoven: 57 games, 54 goals. Ridiculous.
But let me tell you.
Sorry to interrupt you. 98 games, 59 goals. Real Madrid, 176 games, 103 goals. But do we need to take into account that Cristiano Ronaldo accomplished similar to that, but he also did it for a decade longer? Do we need to take longevity and, I don't know, like...
Longevity gives you points. Like what we were saying the other week about Ryan Giggs. You know, you can't look past his longevity for 20 years, but it don't make him better than John Barnes. Just because he was average for longer, don't make him better than John Barnes. I'm not saying Cristiano Ronaldo's average by any stretch of the imagination. I think he's an unbelievable player, but I think you've got like people like Cristiano Ronaldo, Lionel Messi. I'm just thinking off the top of my head, Van Basten. They're all in a batch of like incredible players. And then you have in the next echelon up, you have someone like R9, Pele, and Maradona. For me, them three are and you can go on stats whatever you want, but I'm going on my eyes as well. Maradona won Argentina the World Cup
by himself.
By himself. Pele won it like 3 times. Once when he was 17 or something ridiculous.
So did Ronaldo. Ronaldo was there. 94 World Cup.
100%. Yeah, Ronaldo was a joke in that night. Was it? What World Cup was he ridiculous in? Was it 98?
98, they lost, didn't they?
Yeah, 98 they lost to France.
Was it 94 where he got like 8 goals?
94 USA, he was terrorising, yeah.
No, he weren't 94, he weren't terrorising. 2002, he was terrorising.
Yeah. Did he get 8 goals when the you know, for me, Ronaldo, R7 would have to do something along them lines to well, I don't listen, it can never be up there with R9 because when we're talking about stats, your eyes don't lie. And Ronaldo was ridiculous. R9 was ridiculous, like pace, power, feet, finishing. Look how many goals that he scored in the 6-yard box by taking it round the goalkeeper. If you want to have a look at that stat, it's ridiculous.
Yeah. I think it's like 57 or something like that.
Yeah, by rounding the goalkeeper in the 6-yard box. That's a joke.
It's disgusting.
Yeah. And on top of that, yeah, go and look what the defenders are doing when he's running through. They're literally taking his shins and ankles and knees out.
Yeah.
They're dragging him back.
Yeah.
He's not going down. He's not diving. He's just bowling through it.
And you know what as well? When he was playing in them leagues, so when he was playing in the Spanish league and the Italian league, at the time, they were the best leagues.
Yeah.
So, you know, like the English league now is the strongest league. Back then, the Italian league, when he was at Inter Milan, was a joke. And also, as well, you look at how many goals he used to be scored in the Italian game. It was 1-0.
Yeah.
There was no goals. The teams in there were very defensively sound. It was a defensive type of game. So you look at his record at Inter, from scoring 1 and 2 at Inter Milan, more than that, was ridiculous against top defenders that were playing a very compact defensive game.
Elite. And
Spain, where Spain's the best league, where you got Real Madrid, Barcelona cleaning up in the Champions League every year. He's in the best leagues all the time. You got to take that into account.
What we're going to do is we're going to put this to a vote on the Pitch app. If original Ronaldo is successful, you guys are all good because you've both backed him. If Cristiano Ronaldo is successful, one of you has to get the R9 haircut for the show.
I ain't getting no R9 haircut. I don't care what the public think. I know what I think.
It's 50%.
What?
If people vote that Cristiano Ronaldo is better than R9, if they vote that, they genuinely think that, I think we've got a real issue in football. Because
this is the issue. People actually think that CR7 is better than R9. When you bring it up, they'll bring up, he ain't won a Champions League. And I'm looking at the thing like, right, is that the most prestige cup in football? The Champions League. Like, is that where it is that? But this is what I'm trying to say. For some people, that's where it ends. Then when you say Ronaldo's won the World Cup 3 times, say, they go and then say, well, he was playing in the Brazilian side. But then I'm thinking to myself, when you bring it back, we go, okay, then Maradona's better than CR7. Because he won the World Cup by himself. Why can't Messi win the World Cup by himself? Why can't Ronaldo win the World Cup by himself? And bear in mind, these guys have got Aguero with them. They've got Di Maria. They've got players. Portugal have got players. Don't get me mad. They've got players. They've got very good players. Elite players. And they can't do nothing. Why?
I don't think anybody over 35 years of age will say CR7's better than R9.
No chance.
No
That's
way.
what I'm trying to say. These young dickheads, they come with their stats and goals and boots and sue, and you got grown men doing all this crap. Yeah, when in reality, yeah, it was the arms wide and we're just running. That's the original team. He tried to bring the Sue and bring it down. We ain't on it, bruv. Grown men outside Old Trafford doing Sue. Grown ass men with 7 and Ronaldo on their back. Imagine.
Yeah, but
imagine.
To be fair to CR7, he is a beautiful human being. Gareth will love him.
Simple.
On
100%, Gareth Southgate thinks CR7's better than R9. 1,000,000%.
Bruv, Messi ain't even better than Maradona.
Ronaldinho, here's one for you.
No chance.
He's better than Messi.
100%.
If
Without
we're
a
talking
shadow of a doubt.
prime versus prime, them 3 or 4 years where you're at your best, Ronaldinho's better than Messi.
100%.
Before we get into that conundrum, let's just have some honourable mentions for some other players that come up. Did you mention Johan Cruyff? He should have been in the bracket.
Yeah. I didn't see much of him though, so I don't know. I think I put.
Bruv, they ripped the arse out of that Cruyff turn. I'm not really on it.
Yeah, Van Basten, he was a joke, wasn't he?
Honourable mention for Marco Van Basten, retired at 28, 3 doors. Again, his career was cut short. He probably could have had a few more years at the top. Honourable mention, definitely.
I think, people talk about Cristiano and Messi as the 2 greatest of all time. I think they're a batch below the greatest. So when you're talking about the greatest players of all time, I look at Pele, Maradona, I look at Arne, and then under that batch, I look at Cristiano Ronaldo, I look at Messi, I look at Ronaldinho. But I think that batch of 3 at the top is R9, Pele, and Maradona. I think they're the daddies. I don't think anyone's got anywhere near that level since.
I actually agree with a War Dog, to be honest. I think he's hit the nail on the head. I actually do.
Yeah.
Like
I think Ronaldinho don't get the credit he deserves. He's kind of forgotten about a little bit, but I think if he was around now, I think he'd have clipped. Well, he probably wouldn't. The longevity of Messi and R7 is really amazing. But Ronaldinho liked a little night out as well. Southgate, they hated him.
100%.
It's the South Americans. They liked a night out, didn't they?
Wouldn't have been a beautiful human, 100%.
No.
Right.
Southgate had played Trippier ahead of him all day.
Do you know what I mean?
Right. On that note, lads, I've got to say I thoroughly enjoyed your company today. I enjoyed breaking down the Qatar, aka Qatar World Cup. It's been good fun, and I look forward to seeing you both.
And if you, when the poll comes out, if you click CR7, other than R9, your mum should have swallowed you whole. Simple. Because you got no place on this earth. No. You shouldn't even be here.
No.
Don't get me twisted. CR7's a great player. Don't get it twisted. Yeah? But I don't even put him in the brackets of Romario. So, do you get what I'm saying? To be putting him up against flipping R9 is a crime.
I'm with 90. I maybe worded it differently, but I'm with 90.
I'll try and be more respectful with my player choices for next week. We're back on Friday for a special transfer edition.
I heard, Iniesta versus KDB. That's one that gets me pissed off as well.
Yeah. I seen on the other day, like, did you see someone put on Twitter, like, start, bench, or sell? And it was Zidane, KDB, and Iniesta. And people were like saying, start KDB, bench Zidane, and sell Iniesta. I nearly smashed my phone to pieces. What is going on? So I said, Zidane starts, Iniesta on the bench, sell KDB. Any other answer, I can't have a conversation with you.
You got these fringe players that dabbled in the last era. That was Salah, KDB, and stuff like that. They didn't cut it. They was at Chelsea and stuff, and they didn't cut that grade.
They got let go.
They got pushed out. Do you understand what I'm saying? Then soon as this little powder puff era came in, where you can't tackle and all of that, yeah, they're live again. Click, they're in motion.
I didn't even think. So true. You could say that they were young then and they developed now, or you could just say what you've said. They just weren't good enough.
They wasn't good enough. They got casted out there to go back to Italy, and Salah went to Roma, yeah, and then he had to do bits over there.
Then he went to Wolfsburg,
right. This is what I'm trying to say. Now you're coming and telling me, Iniesta, yeah, that was doing so much crud in Spain from the under-19s. Remember when he scored that goal, top corner, for Spain under-21s? Do you remember?
I can't remember.
You can't remember? I can remember. Shit. You like, and then now you're telling me, you're putting on social media platforms, KDB is better than Iniesta. How does that, where do you get this logic from? Like, how does that even work?
I'm with you.
How does that even work?
Yeah.
Bruv, you've got Belgium ranked #1 team, international team. That's when you know football's done.
Yeah, I'm with you. Belgium ain't got shit.
Belgium are ranked #1, cuz. Well, they was. I don't know what they're ranked now. They was ranked #1. You've got Hungary beating England. Every man ain't beating San Marino 22-0. Everything's just gone mad. Now you're trying to tell me you're gonna bench, you're selling Zidane and you're starting KDB and you're benching Iniesta.
Mate,
you're gonna sell Zidane.
We've said this before, and it makes us sound like bitter ex-pros. But the game is going backwards quickly. The players are not as good. It is what it is. The players are not as good.
KDB's not even better than Xavi.
No way.
He's not even better than Busquets.
Pirlo. There's so many.
Pirlo.
Gerrard. Scholes, Lampard.
He's not better than none of them.
All of them are better than him.
But we're in an era now where everything's easier. You cannot tackle now. Man are wearing no shin pads. Literally. The shin pads are like this. They're not wearing shin pads. Man are wearing their socks down to their ankles. You can't see a shin pad. Do you think you could have done that in 1995, 6, 7, 8, 2002, 3, 4, 5? You're crazy.
Just the thought of not wearing shin pads puts a shiver down my spine.
Can you imagine?
Midfield, them tackles are going in.
I remember when Brighton played Peterborough, was playing you. I wore shin pads there, and I wore back packs around my flipping back of my calves. Because I knew.
You used to have the ankle pads as well. Remember the ankle pads?
Yeah, the big fat ankle pads on the side. Bruv, it's not the same. Anybody listening to this, you have to understand, yeah, that we're still young enough to grasp what's going on. We was at a right age to see that pass as well. Respect what we're saying. It's not bitter. Yeah? We're not faving sides. This is just reality. We ain't even brought in like Batistuta, Crespo. We ain't brought in these players. We ain't even put them into contention. But these players are Lukaku, Crespo, Batistuta.
Imagine Batistuta around now. Wow. Playing that long...
Elite Shevchenko.
Yeah.
You lot are pissing. Listen, you lot are listening to this. Don't piss me off. Simple. Don't piss me off, bruv. Like, come on, man. Elite Shevchenko, elite. Remember when he had that 3 or 4 or 5 seasons? Now, I know you lot are going to say, well, he's only done it for 3 or 4 or 5 seasons. All right, cool. Well, I'll tell you one thing, yeah? Messi would have got kicked into row Z in that flipping era. It wouldn't have happened. No chance. Not a hope in hell, bruv. He got brung in. Ronaldo, R10 brung him in. Handed the torch over. Set up his first goal. Yeah, no way he lifted it over the keeper.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now you lot want to come and try and telling me that he's better than the man that brought him in.
I don't think Messi's better than Ronaldinho either. I've said it before. Absolutely hammered me. I don't think he's better than Ronaldinho.
No chance. Not a hope in hell.
He's had a better career. Doesn't make him a player.
No. This is what you got to understand as well. We're not talking about, the only time I bring up World Cups and this, that, and the other is when you lot come with, oh, well, Champions League. He's won 6 Champions Leagues and this, that, and the other. Cool, no problem. There's only a few players that can do Barcelona, Real Madrid, Inter, AC. There's only a few. Seedorf's in that few. And man, don't even mention Seedorf.
Seedorf, yeah.
Yeah. There's only a few. There's only a few that can do that and be accepted as well.
Imagine thinking KDB is better than Clarence Seedorf.
Don't even make no sense.
Imagine them two playing against each other.
He would have
rip them apart.
Bruv, it don't make no sense. KDB couldn't even play against Diego Simone. He would have ate him up.
I'm with you.
He would have ate him up in there. He was an evil bastard that he was.
We'll have a think about some more player comparisons to get 90 rattled a bit for Friday. Hopefully we get some more transfer news as well. And we'll be ammed up. We'll be back on Friday for Not For The News Transfer Edition. If you're watching this on the app, please go check out our YouTube channel and vice versa. If you're on the YouTube, check out the app for all the latest content.
Roberto Baggio.
Player.
The golden ponytail.
Signori.
Remember
Signori.
What about Boban?
In that 1990 World Cup in Italy? Man's a joke.
Recoba.
What about Boban?
Boban.
Yeah.
What about Del Piero?
Come on.
Alessandro Del Piero. What a player.
There wasn't a player smoother on the ball than Riquelme.
One Riquelme gets any respect, any mentions. What a player.
Yeah.
What a player.
Guti. Remember Guti? Man don't respect. The only time man was starting respecting Guti is when they saw the compilations of the flipping assist.
Yeah.
This is how you know.
He couldn't get in the team either. That shows you the levels.
Here's one for you. Guti is better than Modric.
Tough one. Don't know.
Guti's better. 100%.
Modric, I think, is a baller. He could have played in that era.
Yeah. No, Modric, don't get me twisted. He's a baller, but he ain't on the level that Guti's on. No chance. No chance. Not a hope in hell.
All right, we'll get this back in for Friday. Gentlemen, I've got to say it's been a great pleasure to have you with me, and I look forward to conversing, digressing a little bit more on Friday. Thank you very much for your time.
Remember what I said about your mum when you do the voting?
We're talking about my mum.
No, not yours. The people that's going to be tapping that RCR7 or R9. Remember what I said about your mum? Yeah, thanks, lads.
We're going to leave you lot to work out who's getting the R9 cut as well. Sort it out amongst yourselves. See you soon. Thank you. Goodbye.